look at that, it's actually doing it. Some reason it thinks there's a junction or a stop there, which there is not. Oh my god, that would have hit those bollards. It was braking and it's stopping again for this. What is that? What lights? 3 times in this drive. 3 f***ing times. Welcome back everybody to Tesla Driver, and welcome to a new year in the Tesla software ecosystem and what Tesla thinks is a new year, because we are on 2024.2. It just dropped this morning and it came with like a lot of fixes, a lot of bug fixes, a lot of internal stuff. Oh my god, this is so much better. It normally slams on around this corner and it hasn't slammed on at all. I'm not joking, that is actually a corner that it never normally can do. If it can do these next 2 corners, there's been a lot more improvements in this update than I was actually imagining. But today we're going into town and we're going to try out the Elston Hill, or the Hill of Death for the Tesla, and see have they fixed those bug updates. So there's a hill that I've shown in several videos now. Let's see if it will slow down for this corner. And do it correctly. No, it's still not slowing down for it. Oh, it actually has slowed down a bit, but no, it was still going a little bit wide there. So maybe the first one, it fixed a little bit, but hasn't fixed everything. So, okay, that's fine. We're expecting some improvements, but nothing massive. Now, if you have a new Tesla Model 3, the Highland version, matrix LEDs have now been fully engaged and adaptive lighting has now started. So you can have your full beams on and it's going to block out cars rather than turning the full beams off. Now, Teslas have actually had this since about 2020. I don't think my car has it, but any Model 3, Model X, Y, what's the other one? S, that's it. They've all got, I don't know why I stalled on the S there. They've all got LED matrix headlights which just haven't been engaged. The software hasn't been engaged. Tesla put in a letter to the EU about it, I think last month or at the end of December. And yeah, it's finally now launched with this update. So I was meant to have a new Model 3 this week so I could do footage for it, but sadly Tesla pulled it, and hopefully I'm going to get one next week so we can make some videos. Will it do this? Wow, it's a lot more confident. No, it's gone over to the other side of the road there. Wow, that was strange, because normally on that stretch of road it goes so slow, like really slow, and then fails and it won't turn the corner. But you saw there, it was actually turning the corner with confidence, but not the right amount of confidence. Something else I've noticed as well is when I turn on autopilot, you used to get the horrible nag. That has now gone. Watch this. My hands are on the wheel, but not enough. And now all we've got is this little, please keep your hands on the wheel. Okay, now obviously I wasn't on it long enough. But that ping, that big red warning, used to come on every time since that horrible update. Let's try it again. And I'm going to hold the wheel. So now it gives you a lot more of a polite warning or a polite reminder. And if you're holding the wheel, it doesn't bug you. So that's actually a huge improvement. I know a lot of people have been annoyed by, you can see it there picking up the cyclist. A lot of people were annoyed by that update and by the fact that it was like really pinging you loud every time. So again here, as we come into this roundabout, normally it will slow down for the roundabout and then it will actually go left on it. So yeah, as you can see, slowing down nicely for the roundabout. And there's no one around. Is the car going to continue it, or is it going to come to a full stop? It's going over, it's going left, which is the way we want to go. And now it's starting to accelerate. So funny enough, it does that every time on that one, and it doesn't come to a full stop, and it doesn't say like, I've come to a roundabout, please take over. It just kind of pulls you down gradually and then continues it itself. So apparently there was some speed updates as well. So you can see here, as we go to this 30, I'm going to bring it into 35. Will it slow down for us as we get into it? No, it's still gonna enter the 30 at a higher speed, so I'll just bring it down myself for that and carry on. So so far, a couple of interesting little tweaks, a couple of interesting little updates. I'm actually heading into town to go buy some petrol, so we're going to be heading to a petrol station down the bottom of this hill. But I've also found that sometimes this hill here has a lot of traffic, for example, and it's been quite harsh in the traffic. I'd like to see if this update has maybe smoothed that out a little bit and just made things a little bit nicer. But I'm surprised. I'm actually kind of impressed, and then I was slightly concerned when it did the when I had to take over at the junction. So I put the sat nav on just to make sure the car knows where it's obviously where it's going. Okay, here we go. So I've come out early. Hopefully there's no one going to be behind us on this hill and I can let the Tesla do what it thinks. So you can see here it says stopping for traffic control. I think it's seeing, it has slowed down for this roundabout. That's really good, perfect. And look at that, it's actually fully stopped for the roundabout. Now, that's never happened before, and I actually think that's because it thinks that's an orange light. So I'm not sure about that, if I'm being totally honest. And here, yeah, so it hasn't stopped at this roundabout. So I think it stopped there because of the lights. I don't think it was because of the roundabout. I think it got a little bit confused at that bit there. So I'm going to confirm that it can go through these lights with the stalk. And if we just get a clean, we should go all the way down this road at 26 miles an hour. It shouldn't slow down, it shouldn't speed up. And if it does, that's a massive improvement. And look at that, it's actually doing it. Okay, this update has fixed a lot of small niggles that I have with the car. Okay, here is a really horrible little pothole. Oh, so I slowed it right down there for myself. And again here, we can confirm it through these lights. Brilliant, lovely. And then as we come up to these red lights, which lane? Oh, okay, it was trying to take the red lane, the right lane, but my hand was stopping it. And then here, as we come to these red lights, the car stops nicely, showing the human. Oh, there we go. And off we go. I'm just going to keep it going. I was going to go to this petrol station here, so the car might slow us down.
Turn right.
No, okay, it's carried on. That's good. Please don't think this is a separate light. It hasn't. Brilliant. Speed it up a little bit. Accept the next green lights. This is actually done really well. We're going to take it on a little bit of an extended drive here before I go get my petrol. Here, it's picked the middle lane. And let's see where it comes to a stop. Will it come to a stop at the right spot? Perfect, look at that. It didn't go into the bike lane. You can see here, it can see that the bike lane is after that stop. And it stopped just autopilot unable to proceed, please take over. That's quite interesting. I don't think I've seen that one before. And I think it's because the road obviously veers to the right here. It knows that autopilot can't do this turning. So just gonna turn autopilot off and then we'll pop autopilot back on. Go to this roundabout. Now, will it change lanes for us? No, it's not going to change lanes for us, so I'll have to obviously pull it over. Always like to test to see if they've thrown anything extra in. But no, lane change is still not there. Okay, again, stopped perfectly for us, exactly where we want it to. Look at the visualization as well. It's looking like the visualization here in the UK is showing a lot more and picking a lot more up. Previously, it would really only show your own lane and show immediate things, but because there's so much going on in this shot, it's quite impressive. Okay, so we're speeding it up through there. I'm concerned it's not going to like, no, so it doesn't like this because there's a red light there. It didn't like the fact that there was a red light there. So still getting a little bit confused by the lights. And I think that's something that's got to be fully programmed into it, because there must have been about 8 different sets of lights there. And the car obviously really struggled to figure out which one it should be following. And the car's gone into the middle lane. And it stopped a little bit further back than I'd want it to. And the thing is, you can't creep forward either, because if you start creeping forward, the system thinks you want to go through the red light, and then it will actually continue on afterwards. So we're going to take a left down here. And we'll head through the old city centre down here. So it does get very tight down here. Okay, we've got someone crossing. Let's see how fast the car reacts to it. So yeah, as you can see, it slowed down for him nicely there. And we are coming to an end of a road, but it clearly didn't know this was the end of a road because it started accelerating again. So it needs to learn that end of a road there. Let's head through here. See, people don't even look when they cross this road here. So here I go about 5 miles an hour through this little space. Oh, sorry, pigeon. And yeah, Autopilot not wanting to come on these roads. Now normally Autopilot turns on just after this junction here. So normally it will turn on about here. There you go, it's done it again. And there's no one around us. So interestingly here, it's slowing down for this car and it has worked its way around it correctly. And it says here, stopping for traffic control in 500 feet. Oh, it's getting very close to these bollards. Oh my God, that would have hit those bollards. Bug report, car would have hit bollards. So we had to pull it off there. It doesn't normally do that. Like sometimes it gets close, but it definitely works its way around it. But you could tell there that it definitely wasn't going to work its way around that situation. And yeah, it would have hit into those bollards. So again, here we've got one junction and then we've got this stop sign here, which it has read. It's read the stop on the floor as well. And we can carry on. I think there's a petrol station down here as well. So as there's no real road markings down here, it's still not wanting to turn on. It's really heavy on obviously wanting to see the road markings. There we go, now it will turn on. It goes over the corner and sadly was going over the road a bit there. And here again, it's just going to sit behind the ambulance in the traffic. So we have to take it over because it's not going to cross over the road. Will it pick up the dog? Don't think it picked up the dog. And back on it goes here. So, okay, not bad. We're going to pick up the gas and then we will go on a little more drive and see if anything else has changed. But yeah, okay, something's good, something's bad. I always get funny looks when I pull up at the gas station in the Tesla. I think they're all hoping that I don't know what I'm doing, but no, we still need fuel for our mowers and stuff at home, so that's what we're there for. Okay, let's continue this drive. So we're gonna head out this way. We're just gonna follow the sat nav for a bit. We're going to the Sea Life Centre in Birmingham later today, so we'll just start following that route and do another 5-10 minutes. So the roundabouts, it's really touch and go. Sometimes it will stop at roundabouts, sometimes it will just fly on through them, sometimes it will go slowly and try and navigate them. I really wish it stopped at every single one so you knew what it was going to do, but as you can see there, it was going to start working its way around it, but that's a very tight roundabout and there were others on it, so I don't want to let it do its thing. But it's definitely, this update has definitely fixed some things and just given me a slight cause of concern about that one junction at the start where I know categorically it would normally slow right down for almost come to a stop and then abort. I think it's because of the corner. It would abort at the corner and then I would have to take over, but this time it didn't, which it's just really surprised me. So here again, we're coming up to some lights. We'll accept it through the lights and let's see if it will follow the sat nav and follow the road round. No, it's going to go up the one way over there, which we don't want to go up. So yeah, sadly again like that, it's still not really following the sat nav. It will slow down for junctions and stuff like that, but it won't actually follow where the sat nav needs to go. I'll show you what I mean by slowing down for junctions. So once we get out of here, I'll reprogram the sat nav so it comes up to a junction and I'll let the car fully stop and slow down for that junction, and it basically gives you enough time to take over and then control the junction here. So getting really close to these cars on the left, I'm gonna have to pull it over. there's so much space on the road, but it was hogging that left side for some reason, which was a little bit strange. Again here, the car wants to go really slow and then start up again. That was fine. You see here, slowing down for the person crossing the road. Sadly, again, it didn't show the dog. It should show dogs, but I guess it's quite hard to pick them up. Well, with the zoomed in camera though, I kind of would assume it would pick it up, but all right, let's go all the way to the speed limit, up to 60. But you'll notice that the nags have almost completely gone. There's just hardly any nags, except for the one time I genuinely, hello Mr. Magpie, I genuinely didn't have my hand on the wheel at the start. It hasn't nagged me, which is really quite nice. Previously, it was just way, way too naggy. So like I said as well, hopefully this week, Tesla have told me that I should have the new Highlander for a day so that I can test drive it and make some videos on it. I was meant to have it last week, but they pulled out sadly on the day, which was a real shame. But yeah, here you go. We're coming up to, I'm going to slow it down myself, but it was actually starting to slow itself down, but just not quite as much. Yeah, you can see actually it's slowing itself right down. And for some reason, it thinks there's a junction or a stop there, which there is not. That was not good. I'm not sure what that's about, but that was really not good. Did pretty well over the bridge though, so made up for it there. Bug report. Stopped in road for no reason. Okay, well, we've reported that bug away. So yeah, that was bizarre, and that's what was happening before on the hill, but the hill now seems to be fixed. So I'm not sure. We'll keep an eye out for it. Up here, really nice. It used to jerk around these corners, so that was actually really nice and smooth. And all the way up this road, I think it's going to be nice and smooth. So what we'll do is we'll say we want to go over here, and then we'll let the car hopefully slow us down at a junction. So this one here, it always struggles at this corner because it is a tight corner, and it's again, it's going too fast for it, and it was going over to the left side. I know a lot of people have said please let it do a bit more, but I have to be in control. I have to make sure it's safe, and when I can feel it doing something like that that's not safe, I have to take over. So in the next big update, which I think is going to be 2024.6 or 2024.8, that's when like the next big update is due to come. There's going to be a lot of new features apparently, and I'm actually hoping that the features aren't big in like, whoa, look at me kind of thing. I hope it's big in the sense of it now will slow down before a corner that in the UK, for example, FSD capability would fail at. So that corner there, for example, if it slowed us down to 25, maybe 20, it would have been able to do the corner, and then that wouldn't have been a problem. Yes, of course, it'd be slower, but that's actually fine. Like, I have no problem with that. As long as it does it safely, that's what we're looking for the most. So you can see here, we're going to be turning left in 1,000 feet. It's just pinging us for all of these green lights. And it should, here, slow us down for the junction. It's not going to take the junction, and if you don't take control, it will carry on after it. But it actually looks to me, so you can see here the car is slowing down itself. But it looks like the road is closed and there is a diversion, so we're not going to head down that way then, I guess. And as you can see, the car slowed down. Now it's going to start speeding back up again, so we're going to have to do a route around that road. So that was a bad road to pick. And we'll just let's do a little bit more, a couple more miles down the road. So it's asking us to try and turn around here to try and make that turning. So I guess it would have slowed us down around here for us to do a U-turn and try that road again, but it's closed, so can't do anything about that. But again, this is where Autopilot is best on a road like this that's not in a built-up area or in the city or anything like that. and you can kind of let it go. And what I would normally do here, so this is a 60, I would normally set autopilot up to like 50 miles an hour. It was braking and it's stopping again for this. What is that? What is that? Bug report. Stop in road. Oh, okay, whatever. That's really bad. That's 2 times in this update. So it's had some really good stuff, and then that, I just don't understand. Where did that come from? What is it potentially seeing that it wants to fully stop the car for? That's new in this update, and with the small bits of good things, those, if you're just comfy and you're just driving, those would actually be more dangerous and worse than all the other stuff in my opinion. So some good, some bad, but the bads were really quite bad just then. So again here, going 60, we're coming up to a road here that I just don't think it slows down for, so I'm going to pull it down to 50 myself. And, oh, it is slowing it down a little bit more, so it wants to go down to 45, and, oh, okay, it did do it, but it just went a bit wonky around the corner. It just goes and veers a little bit too far for my liking, if I'm being totally honest. And now, for some reason, I've got my foot on the pedal because the car thinks it's in a 40. It's definitely not in a 40. I'm not sure where it's picked up this 40 sign, but the car now thinks it's in a 40, and it won't go over 40 miles an hour. So I'm having to put my foot down on the accelerator to tell the car it's not in a bloody 40. Ah, see, these updates, there's so much good can come out of them, but with something like this now is not really usable. I've got cars behind me now, and if I was just to let the car autopilot itself, I'd be doing 40, and they'd be massively pissed off. And because we're in a 60, a national highway, there's no other sign to tell you it's 60 until the road speed limit changes again. So we're going to be stuck at doing 40 now for the rest of this drive, which just isn't good for me, but also for obviously the other drivers and stuff like that. So let me know what you think down below in the comment section about this update. Hit and miss for sure, but I think there could be some good improvements in there. I'm just worried about some of the bad things that it has shown in this update. So thank you guys for watching. Until next time, don't forget, drive safe. Oh, it's also turning off my blinkers when I don't want it to. Like here, I want it to stay on until I make the turn, and it turned it off. I noticed it did that actually for the last road as well, but doing it there was really annoying. It only allowed for 3 blinks, and then it turned it off. Oh, come on, Tesla. We've got another one here, guys. Sorry, I'm just a little bit extended here. What? There's no one around me. What? What lights? 3 times in this drive. 3 times. There's no lights there. Bug reports. No lights on road, but car stops. Very dangerous. As a little extra at the end here, I've just thought about what's happened in this drive, and actually it's not good. It's really not good. The stopping at lights, stop signs, and randomly on the road when there is nothing on the road to stop at is potentially fatal. It's a really, really bad thing that started happening. The main reason because there has never been lights, there has never been stop signs, there has never been any reason to stop. At the 3 new places in this update, it's decided to stop. Now, I know in the owner's handbook and in the manual it says, while using the new traffic light stop sign thing, which is in beta, it will do this potentially for any reason. Now, that's obviously them covering themselves, but it really shouldn't, and that needs to be improved for the next update. Tesla, look at that, it needs fixing.